Welcome to the Straight Up, No Bullshit, the Don Handston Show. Our hosts are going to push the limits, but create an environment where it's safe to uncover the crap that holds you back so you can survive the mediocrity of today's life. And they'll be admitting and revealing their own experiences so you can learn the skills and attitude you need to be who you are. No bullshit. Warning to all listeners, if you have thin skin and get offended easily by harsh, direct, or somewhat offensive content and language, then this podcast may be overwhelming. However, we believe pulling your blinders off and viewing things from a real perspective may feel invigorating and may be the very thing that may cause you to expand your capabilities exponentially. Now here's your hosts, Don and Markus.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Straight Up, No Bullshit, where we get straight to the topics, cut through the noise, and we tell you like how it is. Don, how's it going, my friend?
Everything's going wonderful.
Excellent. Well, we're going to talk about an interesting topic about cultural destruction, and we got a very special guest, our first returning guest, Sal Paletta, with us here today, and he's got some great thought processes on what's going on in this world, and just want to kind of share put some light on the way we're seeing things happening out there and make me look at things in a different perspective and open up some eyes. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. So guys, welcome to the show. Welcome, Sal. Glad to have you back.
Thank you for having me back, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for being out here, Sal. Let me open it up a little bit. And the show is going to be on cultural destruction. That's going to be what we're going to call it. Okay. And there's a lot to talk about. So, there's a lot of directions this can go, but the bottom line is in cultural destruction, what's going on right now is we, as a world, it's not just as a country, we are rewarding the down stat. We are not rewarding the up stat. So when you reward the down stat, what that means is we're benefiting people for doing the wrong things. Okay. For not obeying laws, for traveling into countries with the wrong process, for not investing their money properly, not being financially responsible, not obeying the law, you name it. Yeah. They get rewarded. And the people that are like, okay, I'm going to be financially responsible with my money and I'm going to spend less than I make and I'm going to obey the law. And in order for me to have a gun, I'm going to register it. I'm going to have a concealed carry permit, and I'm going to do everything how I'm supposed to do it. Okay. These are the people that are getting their dicks run through the mill. We are getting beat up. And the problem is, and I don't want to get off on my tangent just right away, but the problem is it's taking away the benefit for people doing things the right way. And that really is what's destroying not just America, but this world.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just look at the current legal system as it is, treating criminals, particularly in relation with to the rights they're granted. I mean, there's a perception out there that criminals are given more rights than law-abiding citizens. We're giving rights to illegal aliens. I'm calling them, they're illegals. Yeah. Than to our homeless, to our veterans, to our Americans that have been born and bred here. And it's got to stop.
Or served our country.
Yeah.
These guys served our country, and these guys are stuck in a corner while other people are getting benefits. Like, it doesn't make like you served our country. Maybe you lost your legs. Maybe you lost your mind. Who knows what you lost, but you're here serving our country. You should be the first in line.
Yeah.
Okay. To get any type of benefit. The first.
Well, I agree.
What do you think?
No, I agree. I mean, we are suffering. I mean, I think the average credit card debt for an American now is around $8,600 and some dollars because people are forced to pay their taxes and their grocery bills with credit cards. So it's astronomical. Meanwhile, the illegal aliens are getting gift cards and getting free health care and everything. And going back to what you said, Don, the left catered to them. And I think we're slowly starting to see it again, is that they want their votes. They just want the power. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that contributes to this decline.
Well, somebody used to call it, that's a bribe. They're bribing these people to basically vote their way. I mean, hey, here's a credit card, here's a cell phone, here's a place to live, here's $2,000 a month or $5,000, whatever it is. Here's a plane trip to whatever state you want to go to. Here's a voting ballot. Yeah. It's already filled out.
Remember last year they couldn't get a formula, new parents for their babies. because they were all being stockpiled for the illegal aliens coming into the country. Well, it's
Criminal.
You know, and I'm going to give you guys, all the listeners, a perfect scenario, okay? I don't know if people understand it like this or not. But in 2008, when we had the mortgage crisis, okay? None of this stuff happens by chance. Everyone wants to think, oh, people spend more. No. It's all designed. It's all designed for us to fail. Now, the problem is even back then, they rewarded the downstat. So what happened was they gave out loans that shouldn't have been given out. Okay. They approved people that shouldn't have been approved for those loans. They gave loans that they knew people weren't going to be able to refinance. They knew all this was going to blow up. And I mean, we all know what happened. A lot of people lost their homes and they were sold by the bank in lots of like thousands of homes to these big buyers like BlackRock and stuff like that. Anyways, what happened was, in order to bail some of these people out that had these mortgages, they said, okay, well, we're going to give you a relief on your actual mortgage. So if you owe $200,000, now you only owe $100,000. If you had a 7% loan, you know what? Now we're going to give you a 1.9% loan. We're going to give you all this mortgage relief, right? And you got a schlep rock like me, okay? Never late on one payment, you know, perfect credit, the whole 9 yards. I'm like, hey, I gotta go in for this relief, right? So I call up, hey, I need the relief for the mortgage, and they said, well, Mr. Handston, you don't qualify. And I said, well, why don't I qualify? And they said, well, you've been current on all your payments. I said, well, what do you need to qualify? You need to be behind at least 6 months on your payments in order to qualify. So you take a person like me, you're supposed to pay the mortgage, you pay the mortgage. Now I want to qualify for that benefit. How do I qualify? I have to qualify by not paying. Right. So they turn a paying mortgagee into a non-paying mortgage. So now all of a sudden I fall into foreclosure. So the whole thing was created. And so really what happens with rewarding the downstat is you're creating destruction, not just for the people that have a hard time making it, but for the people that can make it. And like, even if I could pay that mortgage, I don't want to pay the mortgage. Nobody else has to pay their mortgage. Why can't I get the same relief that they get? So it takes the steam out of the engine of the people that want to do it the right way.
Where's the desire to pay your bills on time? I mean, when people are being rewarded for being lazy, that's the bottom line.
Exactly.
People are rewarded consistently in this country for being lazy, for not working. I knew somebody whose daughter got accepted to go to a private college. She doesn't have to pay anything. Nothing. And even the books were covered. Where someone like me has to come up with money to send my daughter to a 4-year university. I'm not entitled to any assistance or anything. You know why? Because I've worked my whole life. This family, the father didn't work. Mother doesn't work full time. You get rewarded. And this happens constantly.
So it wasn't a grant that she had to earn. It was actually given to her.
And then she was all happy about it. And I just looked at her like, I just don't understand this. You work hard and you get punished.
You can use this example. I'm telling you, I have pages and pages and pages of examples that people don't realize what we're doing, what we're allowing to happen to ourselves. How about no student left behind? How about that one? You don't have to go study. You're going to pass. Don't worry about it. Right. What's the benefit? There is no benefit. They're dumb. They can't read. They can't do math when they get out of school. Okay. I mean, you could go on and on and on with the stuff. The credit cards, right? The same thing. Oh, you pay your credit cards. They bounce your APR up to 25% where you can't pay it because you used a bunch of their money. You say, hey, you know what? I need no. Same thing. You're current on your payments. So then what they do when you stop making payments, now they're like, okay, you know what? Just give us half what you owe. Well, you already destroyed my credit. I mean, it's all designed to destruct us as a culture, us as people, us as beings. And if people can't open their eyes to this stuff, they're putting their own noose around their own neck because we're creating all these problems by allowing them to exist.
Well, go back to what you're talking about, the crash in 2008, and all that money that got banks are too big to fail. We can't let them fail. And so all that money went to the banks. I had a conversation with a couple of smart dudes. And I'm like, listen, why don't we take all that money and give it to the people? So like, in other words, all that money, say, we're going to pay off every mortgage. That's maybe, let's say, under $500,000 at the time. That would have been a lot of money. Right. But there might be some stipulations, like, you got to 10% of your income, you got to put into savings so you can start investing stuff. You can't turn around and flip the house for a couple of years. A couple of stipulations like that. Guess what? The pressure would have been off. They would have had that money now in their pockets to go out and spend to stimulate the economy. And the money would have gone up to the people that they were bailing out in the first place, because the mortgages would have all been paid off. How simple and brilliant would that have been? And what kind of a bright future would we have had we had done it that way versus this whole trickle down bullshit, which we know never works.
They saved the car industry, remember? All the car companies that were going bankrupt, they saved them because they said, well, we can't have them go out of business. Well,
right.
So
maybe
you're
they
right.
should.
So you got like a small business like me, Schlep Rock, right? Okay. And we don't make money, or I make bad, business decision. Are they going to go, you know what, Don, guess what? Here, we got some money. We understand you got some problems. Here you go. No, they're like, you owe taxes. You don't pay your taxes, you're going to jail. What? Like, it's so back-assward. And what you were just talking about, Marcus, there's so many solutions, but really the only solution is hold the people accountable, number one, okay? Yeah. We need to hold our government accountable. Yep. So it's really about accountability, okay? And it's rewarding the downstat. You give the tip to the waitress that gave you the nice service, right?
Right.
Somebody comes in and gives you bullshit service, and they get the big tip, and then the person that gives you the really good service gets, hey, here's your tip. Don't bet on the horses. Yeah. I mean, you'll never get good service ever again. I can't even get it past my mind how basic the concept is.
It is. Do you know what the word tip came from? To ensure promptness. Mm. It was actually back in the day, it used to be they would give a tip ahead of time because it was to ensure promptness. So you'd walk into a restaurant with your lady on your arm or whatever, and you'd give the person a tip to have good service. And that's where it came from originally. It's all backwards ass. So let's talk a little bit about, this notion of rewarding people for not working. Cause, how do you feel like it's all impacted the society's overall work ethic and aspirations for personal growth? I mean, are they going to ever strive for anything if they don't really have to work because they're rewarded for not working?
It's like what Don said. I mean, no child left behind. What are those kids? Like he said, the kid says, why do I have to try? I'm going to move on.
Right.
And that will stay with them as they get older and get into the job market. They're going to have the same attitude.
But the thing is too, okay, so you got the kid that says, you know what, I don't need to do this. And he comes out a dum-dum just like he went in, okay? But then you got the guy that spent 6 hours studying every night, and he gets an A, and he says, these other guys are getting through with B's or whatever. They haven't done a goddamn thing, okay? Why should I do it? Yeah. So it takes even the ones that are actually capable of doing very well and learning, it takes them away from like saying, you know what, I need to really learn. They're going to say, this guy doesn't have to do shit. I missed out on the football game last night. I didn't get to go out with the guys or whatever it is because I studied. And this schlep rock over here, right, he got almost the same grade. And the kid doesn't even know how to read. Like, it's going to take the benefit away from the person that it actually helps as well. So it makes it all like a level playground. Everybody's a dum-dum.
Almost like socialism in a sense. Everything gets evened out.
It's exactly.
And that's what they want. Certain party wants socialism. Tax the.
I think they want communism.
Yeah, tax the big companies. They think that they should tax these corporations here. Well, they don't realize these corporations are going to leave. They're going to leave and go somewhere else overseas where they don't have to pay high taxes. And what does that do to the job market? They don't realize that. They don't see it. They just say, oh, well, tax them, don't tax me. Well, hold on one second. We got to keep the big businesses here. but they don't
Yeah,
realize
we do.
that.
Yeah. No, they don't. And it's a sad state of affairs where things are headed to. That's why we have to speak up and educate people and bring change, So what do you think the morale is to the average American, when they see foreigners coming to the United States legally, and it's so difficult for them and costly for them to get in here, yet those who arrive illegally are rewarded like we've been seeing. I mean, how do you feel that that's helping, the morale of fairness and law-abiding citizens in this country?
It's not. And to piggyback what Don was saying, there's like 69% of the illegal aliens have no education beyond high school that are here now.
Right.
So that goes back to the whole education thing as well, what Don was saying. They don't have to go to school. They don't have to learn anything. That's a high statistic. 69% of them have no education beyond high school. What are these people going to do? Where are they going to go?
Right.
Entitlements.
Well,
That's what it is.
I think part of it is it. Yeah, it is without a doubt. I think part of it also is the fact that we need to, literally send these people back. I mean, we got to make sure that every state passes laws that says that the illegal aliens cannot vote, because that's the only way they're going to game the system. We already know they scammed the system last time. Now they're going to try a different direction.
Sure
and they got the hands caught, stuff in the ballot boxes. Well, now they're going to just do it legally by having immigrants voting. We need to make sure that every congressman, every senator, they put the pressure on you. If you're illegal, you do not get to vote. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's what they want.
You're not American. You're not a citizen. And if they try to fast track people in there, I'm sorry, no. There's a process. So
yeah, this topic really overflows like so many other topics that it's almost hard to figure out where I'm even going to go with my next comment. But my next comment's going to be, in order for people to survive at a high level, okay, we need to be financially free. We need to create financial freedom. And how do we do it? It doesn't matter if you own a business, if you're a worker, how do you do it? You spend less than you make. And then what do? You invest your money in whatever it is, whether it's stock market, whether it's real estate, doesn't matter what it is. Well, now the problem is that almost every place that you can put your money is so highly manipulated that you lose your money. So if, let's say, for instance, you're still a policeman, Sal, right? And whatever, I don't know, I'm just going to make up numbers. Let's say you make $100,000 and you say, you know what? I take home 75. I'm going to save 35 at a 75, and I'll put it in here, and it should grow to 50, and so on and so forth. But I'm going to do that every year. Okay. Well, when you put your 35 grand in a let's say a stock market, right? Stock market, and after a year you only got 20 grand, it's going to take like 3-4 years. You're going to be like, I'm not investing in the stock market anymore because I'm losing money. Okay. Sure. Well, the only reason you're losing money, it didn't just go away. Okay. If anybody understands the manipulation in the stock market, it's the people that are in charge. It's the people that make the rules. It's the people that are insider trading, that are part of our, political system. But then you got Joe Schleprocks. We're out working our balls off to put the money to invest so we can get out of the rat race. So you don't have to be a policeman, and you could go enjoy your wife and your kids in Hawaii, or do whatever it is that you want to do. Well, and on top of that, and I don't want to get too far off on this thing, but on top of all of that, when you have time to enjoy yourself and relax and enjoy life like we're supposed to, okay, the problem and the reason why that nobody wants that for you or me is because you get time to actually do critical thinking. You actually get time to look at something and say, this isn't right. I'm going to do a little research. I'm going to check this out. I'm going to test this out there and see how it works. I'm going to run it by people. And you're going to say, you know what? I disagree with what everybody else is agreeing to. They don't want people that disagree with what they say. They want us to all agree. Yeah, Joe Biden and Kamala are the best ever. They want us to agree with that. But if you you don't even have to back out a quarter inch and you say, this place has gone to shit. What's going on? I don't care who's in charge. We need somebody in charge that's going to make things better, not worse.
Well, like JD Vance just said in this last interview I watched, he's like, you know what? as Republicans? How do we vote 10 times ourselves? Go out there and get 10 of our friends to go out there and vote together and really rally the troops. When we see stupid shit being posted on Facebook, we push back, or X or Twitter, wherever you're at, you need to push back. That's what I've been doing. I'm starting to start putting stuff out. I wasn't putting stuff out before. Now I'm putting stuff out and I'm pushing back. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with coddling to your stupidity and your nonsense of your agendas and your propaganda and all the lies that you've been told, because you're walking around in a trance. You're fucking hypnotized. You don't even half the people don't even realize it. That's the sad state of affairs. It's like, how do you wake up people? I mean, shock therapy, yeah, that might work, but good luck with that. How do we wake these people up?
It's hard.
How do we do it? And
it's really hard. I have a lifelong friend who is very much conservative, will vote for Trump. I was talking with him last week and telling him some of the things that, Tampon Tim and Kamala were doing. And he was just shocked. He had no idea. He's like, I didn't hear this stuff. I mean, and I get it. He works hard. He works every day. He works long days. So the people don't have time to sit and put the news on in the morning or get exposed to some of the stuff. So those are the people that, I think with this show, I would hope you guys could reach. But there's a lot of people out there that think like us, but they have no idea how bad these two candidates are on the left. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, they are terrible. There's no substance to anything they say.
Yep. I saw today, actually, Tim Walz is actually being investigated for being influenced by China.
Oh, that's his favorite place.
It was actually, yes, it is his favorite place. And so he's being investigated. I know there was a couple that just got arrested for being a Chinese spies in New York, and they just got indicted. So it's coming down. It is happening. And, you look at Kamala and, her ties, her father wrote the book on Marxism. On one of them, at least. And it's like, people do not realize the people that you're surrounding with. Oh, it's all about joy. It's all about,
joy.
We're going to, we're going to take all of Trump's talking points and we're going to make them ours. It's like, people wake the fuck up.
They just don't like
wake
Trump.
The fuck up and
they just
listen.
don't like him.
Yeah.
So
it's sad.
The other part, and maybe this is getting off the cold. Well, it's really not. It's in the same book, but all the medias that are out there. And that's why I like this show and these types of shows, because to me, it holds more relevance. Okay. Because it opens up minds, and we're not trying to push any certain agendas or certain mindsets. We're just trying to get people to say, hey, wake up. Hey, you know what? I do notice that maybe there's some relevance behind it, but the media has suppressed all the information that we really should know. The stuff, and it's a telltale sign that they are nothing more than an appendage to the government, because right now, with some of the stuff that's going on, would be big news, because we all know bad news sells, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, it sells. And so, all right, whether it was when Trump was shot, where they make it, a car spun his tire and threw a rock off his ear or some bullshit, or the illegal the Venezuelan gangs taking over the apartments in Colorado, that would be huge news, but yet it's being suppressed. Now, I'm going to go one further. And because I was out and about in my day-to-day business, and I was talking to customers, and they were all afraid, and I get talking to them, and I would, I'm me, right? And I'm just talking like me, and they would tell me a little bit, and I said, I'm going to tell you something, because they didn't agree with what was being told on the news and on TV about the coronavirus and stuff like that, and I said, I'm going to tell you something. I'm out and about. We never shut down for the coronavirus. And I'm going to tell you, the way you think right now is the way that probably 90% of the people that I talk to think. So you're not alone. The only reason you think you're alone is because you're in your house alone with these TVs rattling all this bullshit at you. And it's really mind control. And you would see like the relief come off. I'm like, wow, I'm not the only one that thinks like this.
Right.
And it was really, really like transforming to people, because they thought, oh my God, the world's closing in on me. I don't see any of this. It doesn't make sense to me. But every station I turn on the TV is telling me this, and the world's closing in on me. Oh my God, what's going on? Is there something wrong with me? And then for me to tell them that I've been talking to a lot of people that think exactly the same way that they think. It dropped like all this weight off their shoulders. Like, oh my God, I'm not the only one that thinks like this. So I think a lot of people don't even realize how much they're influenced by all this media nonsense.
And don't forget Hollywood,
and
too.
I think that's a
Hollywood, too. Big, Hollywood. Especially for the 20-year-olds, the teens. Yeah, you're right, Don.
Well, it's Hollywood, right? It's the entertainment industry, whether it's music, whether it's sports. I mean, it doesn't matter. They were all on the payroll. And you know what? I'm a hockey player, so hockey was the best. But even hockey had some of those, BLM or whatever, the different stuff that was going on.
Jerseys, remember the rainbow jerseys?
And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, so it even penetrated hockey, which is really like the truest American sport that there is, that didn't get involved in politics. So it was overflowing, like you said, all of the entertainment. And so that's when I decided I'm boycotting TV. I'm boycotting movies. I'm boycotting all the sports. I will not go to a game. I will not watch a game. The only thing I'll do with sports is I'll either train guys or I'll play. That's it. And so
I'm sorry. I was going to say, you know what? I've often thought about that, had this discussion with my father many times. But the problem is, if you were to not watch the sports that you don't agree with politically or the musicians, there's no movies to watch. There's no music to kind of listen to. There's no sports to watch. So what is there to watch? I mean, I'm all for the cause. I get it. But unfortunately, it's so overwhelming. What are we going to listen to? What are we going to watch?
We have to come up with a solution. Yeah. Is what it comes down to. I mean, we can boycott the stuff, but that only goes so far. And, like, just give an example, like you're talking about music, entertainment. They're trying to ban the Christmas song about, it's cold out there, but yet wet ass pussy is being touted on the Emmys or whatever fucking show it was. It's like, dudes, are you fucking for real? But they don't care. They're hypocrites. So let's bring it back to what specific measures do you think, or what policies that we do, all three of us might believe, or ideas we have that need to be implemented to address these surrounding issues around cultural destruction, and how do we reward the individuals that are working, meritocracy, all the things that we know that makes this country great, and make that the focus.
That's the question, Marcus. I mean, I think it starts from the top up and works its way down. I mean, we have leadership in this country for the last 3.5 years that has, coddled these individuals and entitlements. So I think it needs to start from the top up. Other than that, that's a great question. How do you convince your friend? If you have a friend who believes or has the ideology of the left and the nanny state, how do you convince that person that it's not right? It's really tough. It's hard.
Shock therapy.
Well,
works every time.
I think what it boils down to is there's got to be stiffer penalties and stiffer rewards. Okay, so let's use the law, for example, okay? There needs to be stiffer penalties for these laws, and it can't be selective. It has to be across the board, okay? Same thing, let's say running a business, okay? Guy doesn't come in for work and you have penalties. You don't come in for work, no call, no show, whatever the deal is. You need to have a stricter penalty, okay? And the reason why a lot of them don't is because the labor board wouldn't agree with it, right? You can't discipline somebody. They were sick and whatever. They're always going to try and override you as a company. But if we had stricter punishments for people that didn't do the right thing, and then we had stricter rewards. So, hey, you know what? You just did 2 days worth of work. We understand you only worked 8 hours. You know what? We're gonna give you a bonus, or we're gonna give you time and a half. You made us 2 days worth of work. Least we could do is share some of it with you. There's got to be reward for people to do the right thing, and there's got to be punishment for people that do the wrong thing. It's pretty simple. It's just that we have our hands tied because the government will oversee what you do and say you can and can't do that. That's where the problem falls into play. Like you said, it comes from the top down, but it doesn't have to come from the top down. And just like when coaching kids for hockey, when I was coaching kids, I'm old school, right? You don't want to follow the practice, you're off the ice. Okay. You're not playing in the next game, whatever it might be, whatever the penalty was. Okay. Well, after a little while, certain areas they would want that, and those were the ones that would wind up with the good hockey teams. But then you get certain areas where you can't kick my son off the ice. You can't kick him off the ice during the practice. We paid all this money. We're going to complain, and then they complain, and then they say you can't do that again. Otherwise, you're going to get fired as a coach or whatever. So the bottom line is that in order to create a good sports player, okay, you have to have discipline, and you have to have a strict penalty when they're not behaving in the manner in which they should, and they get rewarded. Hey, you guys, you know what? If you guys, do this drill and you do it in less than 60 seconds, we're going to go get ice cream, or or whatever it is. But I think that's really what it boils down to. Is I think the rewards got to go in the correct direction, not the opposite direction. I think it's really that simple.
There's no accountability anymore. And, like we've talked about this for years now, everybody gets a trophy. Everybody gets to contribute. Everybody gets to play. Well, when I was playing hockey, that's not how it was. If you didn't play well, you didn't play. Everybody paid.
Yeah, you're out.
I don't know.
It's the only way to encourage betterment and to strive to move forward and get better is you missed the mark. Okay, let's try again. But they my feelings got
coddling, the nanny state.
It's insanity.
You never strive for success if you never hit failure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right,
you're just going to stay mediocre. You're going to stay mediocre.
That's right. And I hate to keep bringing up politics, but this is the mantra of the left. If you step back and look at it, this is what the left wants. This is what they
soften up the people.
There's schools. I mean, I know you guys have heard this. That have litter boxes in the classroom because certain kids say they're a cat, and the parents will stick up for them. I mean. Yeah.
I think
how do we even have this conversation, actually. Don, Marcus? Can you believe we even have this conversation?
We 20 years ago, we would have thought mental institution. That's why they need to bring mental institutions back, because I think a lot of these people are fucking mental.
I don't understand this. Just imagine going home and telling your father. I can't imagine me going home telling my father, I think I'm a cat. I mean, do you know what would happen? I'd be in a wheelchair. I mean,
well,
oh my God!
What you do, your dad would probably be like, "Okay, there's the food in the floor. There, go eat that food. You're not eating at the table." I guarantee you, they're going to change their tune very quickly. And it's. But you know what? I think part of it, a lot of it's got to do with this socialist communist agenda, but also it's got to do with the fact that they have been dumbing down America through the schools. Our medical system is fucked. They're poisoning our food with chemicals, glyphosates. There's more chemicals in our foods now than there ever been before. And, I think it messes with people's brains. Their synaptic responses are not getting fired properly, and they're getting warped mental. There's issues with depression and bipolar and all these things happening. Yeah, that used to be back in the day, but it wasn't nearly prolific. It's got to do with, it's all of it. It's all of it kind of a culmination. It's like a big Peachtree dish. And this is what the experiment is. So I think, honestly, two things that we can do. One, we all have to go out and vote on November 4th, and we need to get Trump in there. Period. End of story. How that RFK is part of it. I think we're a huge amount of the independents coming over. Musk. I mean, it's freaking awesome. So, but we have to do our part. We have to educate. I think we should do another show, not today, but we should do a show like Sal, what you were talking about, educating people on some of the craziness that they may not even be aware of.
It's every morning. I wake up, I put on the TV, and I shake. Every morning I think it cannot get any worse. And then the next morning, there's something else.
See, I don't watch the news, so I'm kind of oblivious to that.
I do.
I don't either. No.
I watch it every morning, all day, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Well, we need to. I think. Okay, so I mean, we only pointed out a fraction of what we could talk about, but I think, and we're not focusing on the negative, but but we are just trying to bring up points that I don't know that people are really that aware of. They don't really put that much thought into, but how do we get better? Okay. And how do we get better? And this is just a couple of thoughts from me. Okay. There's organizations. I know there's one, EWG, and they talk about the toxins that are in the foods and the waters, and they rate all these different things. I think we got to start supporting them, donating some money for their cause, because they're there for our help.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
The local farmers,
Yeah.
right? Where we can get our fresh, grass-fed, beef and pork and
Vegetables.
we can get,
Yeah.
and we can get vegetables, and we can get
I'm there
fruits.
every week.
I think we support those people, okay? Because they're supporting our help,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
We got to support the people that support us, and we got to quit supporting the people that don't support us, okay? And so I think it's on the bottom level. Let's call us on the bottom level. We have to support each other, because we need to make sure that everyone can benefit, everyone can stay healthy, everyone can help each other. We can stay in business. We can pass money amongst the people that we want to pass money amongst. And I think, so that's really part of it. And then I think that as far as like education, I think we have to understand that the institution of education is there to destroy our children, not to better them. So we need to figure something else out. A good friend of mine, his wife has a private school, a small private school, and they teach entrepreneurship, and they teach people how to create, and it's a mastery program. So you don't move on until you master it.
Imagine
So
that.
it's not even anything like the, like the traditional educational system. So there's things that we need to support, that support us and support our ideas. I think that that's how we ultimately get through this thing, because if we continue to support and give monies and tariffs and all this shit to the gov, so they can give it to Ukraine and all these other countries, so we could have World War III, then we supported it. We created it. We got to quit doing that.
Or the illegals. They're taking majority of our tax money.
That's
I know.
ridiculous.
Well, we're the minority, unfortunately. The way we think, we're the minority.
Well, I don't think we're the minority as much as they want us to think we're the minority.
As we're painted.
But we're not.
Painted like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're not. I think more people are waking up and smelling coffee. And that's why I said, what can we do about this? Get out there and vote. Get our friends out there and vote. Help educate people. Let's do a couple podcasts on shedding a light. And again, we're not focusing on the negative. We're shining a light on all the lunacy, because a lot of people don't know about this stuff.
Exactly.
And help
That's
educate
a great
them
idea.
and help them, and this way we start spreading the word, because at the end of the day, if we don't change things in November, we're
8
fucked.
years. 8 more years of this.
We won't survive. We won't
No.
survive.
No, I don't see another year. I just hope that we don't have a world war before the election.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I mean,
let's not put that thought process out there. I'm not even going to send
These people will do anything. I just not to have Trump.
Well,
Yeah.
I think their next step is they're just going to do everything. They're going to fight by tooth and nail to get the illegals to vote, and we have to put the pressure on. Put the full court press on these congressmen, on these elected officials, that this cannot happen. I said we should have a militia, not a militia in the sense of, we're going to have guns or whatever, but we have a militia of individuals that go to every polling station and they check IDs. And you know what? If you don't have an ID, you can't prove that you're here, get the fuck out.
yeah.
And if we could do that, at least then we have a chance of making sure that this thing's not fucking.
Yeah, and we just want it
It's
fair. That's it.
Yeah,
Just
a fair.
They're suing
but
to
they don't
have
play
the
fair.
illegals
They don't play fair.
come in and vote, giving them voting
Right, exactly.
So what does that tell you? What is the state? I'm not sure if it's Minnesota that was suing to keep Robert Kennedy off the ballot. And now they're suing to keep him on the ballot. I mean, if this doesn't show you exactly what the Democrats are doing, it's cheating. Absolutely.
Yeah, it is cheating. And I think we should have a spotlight. We should have a spotlight episode, maybe once a month between now and the election, and just all the craziness and all the things. And we can pull up clips. We can bring up news articles. Let's show what is going on and help educate help people, give them ammunition. I started Sal, I know you joined. Don, I'm not sure if you saw the Facebook link, the Facebook group, Truth, Freedom, and the American Way, and it's all about just sharing ideas so that people have more ammunition to go out there and have conversations with people. We're not trying to make people wrong. We're not trying to belittle people. We're trying to awaken them. We're trying to educate them and share the truth that we know to be true so that they can hopefully make a better decision and then have a better life.
I'm surprised it didn't get shut down.
Yeah, right. All the suppression, all the.
Well, but you know what? If it gets shut down, it gets shut down. But you know what though? We can't allow that to hold us back. Yeah. We had, just like this podcast. We were worried about, are we going to get shut down? Or we get canceled? Whatever. You know what? If we do, we do. That's why we have it on multiple channels. Yeah. That's why we have it everywhere. Because you know what? I will. Like episode 2. Fuck that. I will not be canceled. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. I don't care if I have to send smoke signals up. We're going to get the message out.
Well, I think it's a great idea to come up with a show where we each have, 5 or 6 things that I hate to keep going political, but I can't help it. That's what's dividing the country right now.
Well, it is. It is. Yeah.
The left and what they want to do. I mean, when you look at Tim, he, always supported putting tampons in the boys' bathrooms. A lot of, like I said, one of my friends didn't even know that. So I think that's a great idea for a show because a lot of people don't know this craziness.
No, I agree. I like it. We'll have to do that. So,
well, yeah, most people are not aware. They don't even barely know their name.
Right.
Okay. They're not going to know anything. People like I read like, I can't even tell you how much, 4 to 6 hours a day. I just read and read and read and read. And that's, I get so much information, actual data, not some BS articles. Right. Okay. And so, but I don't think people, number one, are going to do that. And number two, I don't think people have time to do that. They're in a rat race trying to figure out how to pay their bills. And it's getting worse because that maze is getting a little tighter these days. And so I don't even think that these people realize what they're actually voting for, what they actually want, because I had this conversation with one of my docs today. I go to natural doctors during the week a lot and keep the body moving good and everything else. And I said, I don't think these people understand that what they want, okay, the people that, let's call them the left, that what they want, I don't think that they understand that they are going to be the first to perish, okay? People like us, okay, we're critical thinking people, okay? We're gun bearing. We're cash toting. We are fulfilling. We're putting data, actual data in our head. We're making conscious decisions on thinking critically, on thinking things through, figuring out how to get out of the rat race. We are not going to be the ones that are going to perish. The ones that are going to perish are the ones that want the handouts from the government. They want their college tuitions paid for, and they want the food stamps, and they want the free rent, and they want all this, and they want that. Those people, but the thing is, Marcus, Sal, this government is not going to be able to support them because people like us can no longer support the government to support these people. So where's the money going to come from?
They just keep printing it.
Like in Estonia. I remember when the communists took over Estonia. I mean, we had relatives that didn't escape, like my mom did and my grandparents did, that, would have to wait 2-3 hours in line just for bread and milk, just basic staples. So when they have to start waiting in line for 2-3 hours, 4 hours for the basics, it's going to be a big wake up call for them. But then at that point, it's too late.
Absolutely.
So that's why we have to nip it in the bud right now. That's why I think doing some spotlight episodes, I think help get the word out there. And again, let's focus on educating people. How do I help my friends go out there and vote? How do we get more people out there and vote? I mean, because if we did that, if every patriot out there gets 10 of their friends that are maybe independent or maybe on the fence to come out and vote, can you imagine the landslide that we'll have?
Yeah.
We'll have a Reagan landslide, and it would be amazing. I would love nothing more. And then we can shut this down, because I guarantee you, they will shut it down. These people are going to get sent back. They're going to be sent over the border, send them back to where they came from. We're going to lock up the borders. We're going to start drilling and fracking and getting prosperity back in this country. And we're going to make America great again. RFK is going to be involved. We're going to make America healthy again.
Maybe people can afford a home. No, I mean, we're over 7%, and that's actually lower. That's what it is today. We're like 7.017% for a 30-year fixed. And they said the average price to own a home, what they say was like
$460,000.
Yeah, and the average person doesn't even make 70, 80,000. That's the average. People can't afford a home right now. Yeah. So I'm hoping those people will start to figure it out. Like we said in the last show, going to the supermarket, paying for gas, everything is up. But yet Biden was on the news yesterday or today saying that the economy's great. I mean,
oh my God.
Well, yeah, gas was down to $2.99 by my place up north, and my girlfriend says to me, she goes, "Boy, I wonder if there's an election coming up." Yeah, exactly. I go, yeah. She's got to show that they're really keeping the economy intact, and the thing is it's all smoke and mirrors, and you're right. The average house, and I'm going to speak numbers. I don't really know numbers, so these aren't accurate. But yeah, I heard the new average cost of a home was around $460,000, where I believe 4 years ago it was only like $237,000.
Something like that.
It's doubled.
Can't afford it. And they're going to give. What does she want to do? She wants to give $25,000 or $120,000. I think Gavin Newsom. I was going to say that, but I'm trying to stay. He wants to give the people $125,000 to a home. I mean, what about us when we got out of college? What about us when we were, we get nothing? And I think we said this in the last show. If you give everybody $25,000 to buy a home, the person selling the home is just going to raise the price $25,000. So
exactly.
How
does this help anybody? I don't understand it.
It doesn't.
It's no different than printing more money.
They've proven that socialism doesn't work. Communism doesn't work. It's like, I don't know how many ways, 6 ways to Sunday, but the reason they do it is because these elites, they crave nothing but power, money, and control. They want to have it, and they will do anything not to really relinquish it. And that's why they're so threatened by Trump. Yeah. That's why they're so threatened by our Constitution, because our Constitution, our founding fathers were brilliant. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly, how they were framing this country up so that it would protect us from these things. The problem is that all these 3-letter agencies are passing regulations. They're not passing laws anymore. They're just passing regulations that everyone has to follow. Well, guess what? We have to opt out of that system, and we have to fight back. So this has been a great conversation. We could probably talk for hours. Sal, thank you so much for being on here. Don, thank you. And thanks for joining us again, Sal.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So, folks, if you liked what you heard here today, please tell a friend, share this on your favorite social media. We're on Rumble. We're on YouTube. We're on X. We're on, all your favorite podcast stations, and, give us a like, give us a comment, share some of your thoughts. If you've got an idea that you think would help save America or help awaken people or just make things better, share it in the comments. We'd love to talk about it. We'd love to bring up your ideas and discuss them and see if we can help enlighten more people. And if nothing more, then just give us a thumbs up, and we appreciate the likes and the subscribes. And until next time, we'll see you on Straight Up No Bullshit. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to the Straight Up No Bullshit, the Don Handston Show. We hope we enlightened you and expanded your perspectives with our bold and honest discussions about what might be holding you back from being your genuine self. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to the next episode. If you want to know more, go to straightupnobullshit.com. We'll see you next time.